Podium check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And now, we bring you the following live press announcement from D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. Our regularly scheduled program will resume following the announcement.
Good morning and welcome to the D.C. Department of Housing and Community Development. My name is Drew Hubbard. I am the interim director of the department, and we're so glad to have you here today. I have the pleasure of previewing this exciting announcement of a couple of things we're doing today. And it's no accident that we're here in our Housing Resource Center, because this is where a lot of the journey starts for folks, especially looking for assistance, but also looking to get on that homeownership journey. It's also fitting that we are co-located here with one of our community-based organizations, University Legal Services. And that's really where, especially for HPAP, a lot of the journey starts for folks seeking homeownership and assistance through our HPAP program. And just so that with all the interest from the announcement today, I want to make sure folks know to go to frontdoordc.gov to really start this process. And you can also look at dhc.dc.gov/HPAP. Really to get linked up to one of our many CBOs that helps folks start this process. And it starts simply with going to a CBO, going through a quick training program about HPAP, and getting on that path to homeownership to really accessing the down payment and closing cost assistance that we have for district residents to take advantage of. And as I said, we're going to hear from some great residents who have taken advantage of this program, as well as the mayor and Councilmember Bonds and Deputy Mayor Falchicchio, just to talk about some exciting new facets of the program that are coming. But before we get to the speakers, I just would like to thank the folks here at DHCD who really make this happen. Richard Livingston, who helped put together today's event, Gentry Alexander and his team at HPAP, who run the program, and Jeannie Hayes and the Homeowner Assistance Fund team, who have another exciting resource for homeowners who are seeking to get foreclosure prevention. So I want to get this right, and I told Mr. Branch I was going to give him his due. So I'm going to first introduce Marcus Branch. Marcus is a native Washingtonian and purchased his first home in the district with the help of HPAP back in April of 2021. As a DC firefighter and former teacher, he also took advantage of HPAP's sister program, the EHAP program for government employees, which is also a matching grant for first responders. And as I mentioned before, he used one of our great CBOs, University Legal Services, to start his process. So please help me in joining to welcome Mr. Branch to the podium for brief remarks about his process going through HPAP.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, again, my name is Marcus Branch, longtime DC, a resident, grew up in DC my entire life. I've been honored to serve my community in many fashions. Like you said, I'm a firefighter at DC, at the DC Fire Department and the EMS services at Engine 24 in the Petworth community, where I also coach. I'm a football coach at Coolidge High School, and we have a youth program, Warfare Warriors, which we do operate out of that community also. But I've been able to take advantage of the EHAP and the HPAP program with the help of my realtor, Miss Melanie Davis. When COVID hit, I was at a standstill and, spending most of my time just working and, been trying to get a house for years, and it's been a struggle for me. But with that program, it made my long-time dream, be able to come a reality. And I just want to thank Mr. Gentry and everybody with the program because it was very helpful for me. So without further ado, I appreciate you all listening to my story and sharing my time. And I would like to introduce Ms. Muriel Bowser. All right. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you for that introduction, and it is fantastic to be here in Ward 8 and to be here at DHCD. I want to thank you, Drew, for your leadership of DHCD, and I too want to acknowledge the entire DHCD team. So let's give them a big round of applause. Over the last 8 years, I have asked DHCD to do incredible work. I started my tenure as mayor saying that we would do more for affordable housing in the District of Columbia than had ever been done. I made a pledge that we would spend $100 million in just in our affordable housing program, just in making sure that we, in the Housing Production Trust Fund, that we were putting $100 million every year. When I became mayor, we were doing about $50 million. And last year, we were able to, thanks to our partner on the council, Anita Bonds, and the members of the council of the District of Columbia, we did $453 million in a single year in HPTF. So fast forward almost 8 years, we've invested $1.2 billion in affordable housing. We know in cities like ours that are beautiful, that have talented people, that have great neighborhoods, that have fast improving schools, is a great place to start a business and grow a business and to get a good paying job. There's a lot of pressure on housing cost. And so that's why we always have to be creative about the tools that we create. So DC residents say, hey, I can buy a house. Hey, I can call DHCD. I can go to the University Legal Services, or I can go to the Urban League, and they have programs set up just for me. You heard Drew talk about how we are always focused also on making sure DC government employees know about our programs. I said a long time ago that if we want to grow our middle class, we want to create more black homeowners in DC, one of the best places to start is DC government, because I know we're a good employer. I know we are. We provide great wages, good benefits. People come to work for us because that they know that their talents and their hard work is how they'll move ahead. And so, we're hiring. If you're interested in working for a great place and living close to where you work, please go to dchr.dc.gov because we are hiring. Additionally, another very important thing that you'll hear me talk about is how home ownership is the way that we will close racial wealth gaps in our city. We know that most people, especially most Washingtonians, is that the way they build generational wealth is through buying a home and passing that home on from generation to generation. We know that people do the math, like we heard, on what they need for a down payment, and then they start to think about what's possible. Sometimes people don't get to step one into thinking what's possible because they're so daunted by the process. That's why we want you to listen to what we have to offer, to think about the programs and services and the professionals that are out there to help you think through the process. Don't get stuck at step zero, because you may already be qualified. So let's just think about it. But we want residents to know that we have programs that will help you make it possible. We also know this, and I hear this statement all over the place, that it's too expensive. We know that DC has gotten more expensive. You heard me give you some of the reasons why. A lot of people want to live here, start their businesses here, and work here. More people trying to buy more things or fewer things makes things more expensive. And that's why in 2016, with Councilmember Bonds, we increased the maximum assistance through our HPAP program that you heard Drew describe from $50,000 per home purchase to $80,000 per home purchase, and increased our budget for the program by 50%. So this program, it helps first-time home buyers cover their down payment and closing costs. And in 2016, we expanded that to DC government employees. Now we're increasing HPAC beginning October the 1st to give you more buying power. So the maximum assistance, which has been since 2016, which we increased then, of $80,000, will now be $202,000. So if you are a family that's making below 50% of the median family income, which for us is $71,000 for a family of four. Okay, so if you're a family of four making less than $71,000, you could be eligible to receive the maximum HPAP allotment. And that is money that you wouldn't have to repay until you sold your home. So if you're watching and this is you or someone you know, now is the time to consider buying a home in DC. We want you to register for the HPAP program. In just a few moments, Director Hubbard will tell you exactly how. And so when I talk to residents around the city, a lot of people fall into this category. They may be recent college graduates. They could be a family in transition. They could be a new family to DC. A lot of new folks to DC look at these programs and services and take advantage of them. There could be, I hear from a lot of grandparents or parents who want their kids and maybe even willing to help their kids get out on their own. So these are programs for all of us. I also sometimes hear from people who have been renting for decades and decades, and now they want to buy a home. So this may be a program for you too. So we also want to make, and Drew and team will continue to talk to you about this, but we have some emergency assistance funds that are available for current homeowners who may have been impacted by COVID. So if you fall into that category and you need help dealing with your current mortgage, please get in touch with our team before September 30th. So with that, I want to acknowledge a woman who has been a real